and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening. Hello everyone. Hello. Welcome to my In Conversation With. I'm so excited to be here with Eve. Eve has been a member of this community, Direct Selling Success, for some time now. I think it's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, she's going to share her story, share some wisdom with us. But what I'll do is I'll pass you to her and she can tell you a little bit about herself. If that's all right, Eve?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thanks for having me here. It's brilliant to be here and be able to have a chat with you. Yes, my name is Eve Cale and I run a business called Gift Wrapped by Eve. But the reason that I'm here and talking to Anna is that my sort of story started over a decade ago now with direct selling. But I only actually found Anna relatively recently on my journey, actually towards the end of my direct selling journey, and now sort of setting out on my own. It's been a bit of a journey. I can't quite believe how long it's been that I've been doing this for, but I'm still really, really grateful to have found something that sort of fits in so well with family life. And that's really where my story sort of started.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about when you started and how it got you to where you are now?
Sure, yeah. I think when I first started, actually, I didn't even really know what direct selling was, even though I'd come across network marketing, direct selling in many forms actually over the years. I was always somebody who was hosting things. So over the years, I'd hosted various parties or whatever gatherings, as you like to call it, or attended them. Always really enjoyed doing that kind of thing. Had no idea it was network marketing. Just thought it was really good fun. Loved hosting things. Loved getting some free things. That kind of thing. So actually, when you think about it, it's not that surprising that I've ended up having a bit of a career in this world, because actually it's something I've really enjoyed. As a customer. But I first came across the company that I joined, Phoenix Trading, when I was on maternity leave. So I was on maternity leave. I'd had a job in marketing for 12 years since I'd left uni. And I was on maternity leave. I was doing sort of the circuit of all the local toddler groups and baby groups, and I came across a store, somebody was selling lovely cards and gift wrap. I've always been somebody who loves sending cards, loves making gifts look great, takes time over that kind of thing. And I decided already at that point that I was going to take a career break from my corporate job, just because I just wanted to be at home more. I wanted the flexibility to be around, and I'd been working pretty long hours in my job, and I knew that with my husband's job as well, it wasn't going to be possible for us both to do those things. So I decided to take a step back, I've been spending quite a lot of money on cards and things over the years. So when I came across this stall of lovely things, and better price than I could have found in the shops, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, brilliant. But as with lots of these things, with when you're there at toddler group, baby, looking at everything, I couldn't buy anything on the day, so I took a brochure home and had a little look through, made a little note of what I wanted to order, and I think I placed an order sort of the next few days. And then I was flicking through the brochure and realised on the back that it said that you could start your own stationery business for £30. And this is quite unlike me, but I was like, well, I did a few sums in my head, and I was like, well, I spend this much probably on what I already send card wise. If I join for £30, I'll save that just if I buy everything for myself. So that. And honestly, I decided there and then, I was like, well, I may as well give it a go. I haven't got anything to lose. Now, I know that is a very rare story in this business for people to come across a product and then join almost immediately.
I don't think it is, Eve. I
Do
don't
you
think it
not?
is.
Oh, that's really
No, I
interesting.
don't.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it's the most common way to join.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it was because for me the decision was quite a quick one. So actually, if I was to give anybody watching this a bit of advice, is to not dismiss people who've just come across you, that they may not want to join your business, because actually nobody asked me if I wanted to join. I did it off my own bat, but somebody could have asked me, and I would have been like, oh yeah, brilliant. So don't dismiss people, and do talk to them about the opportunity straight away, because actually there might be somebody right there. So my story started. Sorry. Yeah.
There will be someone right there.
Yeah. So my story started right there, but it was quite a slow journey from there. I had a baby at home, and I was getting to grips with what it's like being at home as a mum, and it is a massive change. It's a massive change, and I found it really difficult. I was really used to working in an office, surrounded by people all day, and I'd gone from that to being at home, predominantly on my own. At that time, my husband was working in an office all the time, with long days at home with a baby. It's a massive change, and I did feel really lonely sometimes. And I think the biggest thing that this gave me, and I didn't realize it was going to give me, was this community. So first of all, that community of all these other people who are doing what you're doing. Instantly, you've got this connection with hundreds of other people who are talking to you, not just about your baby, which is also, it's brilliant to talk about your kids, isn't it? It's brilliant to meet people with kids, but actually sometimes you want more than that. And I really found that was really helped me just kind of reset and feel a lot better. So it was really hard. So first of all, the community sense of things from meeting other people, other traders. But then as my confidence started to grow, and as my son got a bit bigger, then I felt like I could do a few more things. So I had open house at home, started doing things like coffee mornings, started to get invited to go and do things and take my stall to toddler groups and those kind of places with him in tow. So I started to sort of build on that. But as I say, it was really slow, but that's fine, because that is what this business is so good for. It's great whatever pace you want to go at. And my pace at that point was quite slow. Although I would say, if I was to have my time again, that first bit where you first joined and you're excited about something is don't miss it. Don't miss out on it, because actually that I didn't make the most of that, because I was just sort of finding my feet. But that there are reasons for that, and you can relaunch at any time, can't you? So I pootled along a bit, and I was just getting in the swing of things, really starting to build a team and that kind of thing. When I was pregnant again with my daughter, and it was at that point I madly decided that this was the point in time to really start going for things and build my team more and do more. And I do remember actually talking to my upline at the time. I was like, oh, how do I take maternity leave? Can I take maternity leave? And I think she sort of laughed and said, well, you just carry on, just do what you can. And actually at that point I really actually started to do more, which sounds absolutely crazy, but in the chaos of having a toddler and a baby, actually it was brilliant to have something that was mine, and that in between all of those other things that you've got to do as a mum, I had something else to focus on. So yeah, I kept going. I kept growing things bit by bit, and then I became team leader, executive trader, as it was called in those days, with Phoenix, until Phoenix Trading actually closed. And then the business changed and was then called Flamingo Papery. So I joined up with Flamingo Papery and kept going. And it was a bit of a bit of a roller coaster. I had to re-qualify again, and eventually I got there, and I did re-qualify as executive partner, and that's where I've sort of remained until actually Flamingo closed earlier this year. So I think my story is one of sort of small, consistent steps, keeping going, keeping on building on things, and just chipping away at things. And gradually, you'll see. I think I was saying to you before we came on live, Anna. My story isn't one of a great income. It's not one where I'm going to say here I've matched what I used to earn in a corporate career, but that was never my intention. My intention really was I didn't have an intention to begin with. I stumbled across something that I loved, and then I decided to give it a go. And as over the years, I've grown it into a business that I love, and I've remained consistent, and so I've grown it. So yeah, that's my direct selling part of my story, anyway.
But the one thing that you did say to me before we did start this podcast was that it wasn't about the money, but what it's given you has really surprised you.
Yes, yeah. It's given me so much more than that, really. And I would say that every penny that I've earned through doing this, as opposed to being employed, feels so different, because you have the complete ownership of it, and so you feel that buzz every time you get a sale, every time you get a yes or booking or whatever. It's, oh well, I did that, and it's been brilliant for my confidence. I'm somebody who's I've done lots of different things over my career, and I was somebody who was pretty confident, but I was pretty knocked by the change in being a mum, and this has really helped me to grow and change and recognize all those things that sometimes you miss in the hustle and bustle of employed life. And I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't want to go back to being employed now. I love being self-employed, and I love the freedom that it's given me, so that I can be around when I need to be around. And there's been a lot of times over the last few years, as we know, where flexibility has been so important, and I'm really lucky that I've been able to carry on with doing what I'm doing and be around. So
yeah. So do you think if you hadn't have done your decade in direct sales, that you would have set up a business on your own, the greener gift wrapping? Do you think you'd have done it?
I don't think I could have done it. I don't think I would have done it in the same way. I think all the things that I've learned over the years have given me the confidence and the experience to be able to do what I'm doing now, setting things up independently. I think what I've managed to do is grow a good customer base over the years, and that means that I'm not starting from scratch as if I had been starting a business completely on my own. So, I mean, I've also got quite realistic expectations about how long things take, based on my experience of building a direct selling business. So they're not, there are obviously big differences in there is no team building element, but the other aspects are are very similar. And you've got all the things that I've learned, I would never. It's so different to being in a corporate role. It really is, and I think until you're in it, you don't realise quite what goes into building a business by yourself. And it is surprising how on the outside, what you see on social media perhaps, or when you see somebody out and about, what you see on the outside is there's lots going on behind the scenes, lots of hard work that makes it all happen. And it is different.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, actually, because so many people just see the posts on social media and think, especially when you first start, that that's all you need to do. You just need to post on social media and you'll make sales.
Yeah.
No, there's so much more behind. There's all the building of your following and the building of relationships, and then the mechanics behind actually, what do you do with that post? How do you learn how to post the right things? Where do you find the people that are going to see your post, that are going to interact with them? How do you make the sales from that post? It's not just the post.
Yeah.
It's everything else, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one piece of the puzzle, isn't it? And I think understanding that and just having realistic expectations about how this bigger picture can form and how you can do it, but it's not going to be overnight, as with any business. But I mean, that's where memberships like yours are just so valuable to help people understand that bigger picture, I think. And I've really learned, obviously I came into your world just at sort of the end of the direct selling side of things. But I've really enjoyed networking with other network marketing businesses, understanding what they're doing. I've learned, it's been really valuable to hear other people's stories and journeys, and also just to get a neutral perspective on some of these things that you were just talking about your audience growth and those kind of things. That's been really good, and really helping me, even though I'm now sort of going things alone.
Yes, it's exciting.
Yeah.
So there's one thing I do want to talk to you about, and that is offline business, because I know that you have run your business quite a lot offline as well as online.
Yeah.
Have you got any tips that you can share with regard to offline business, doing actually seeing people in your local community?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I would say it was only really in 2020 when we were in lockdown that I really changed my business to be far, a bigger proportion online. Up until that point, most of my business was face to face out there in the real world. And that's how I built my business, through consistently being out there. I mean, we talk about being visible online a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
But the same goes for being visible in your real community. And my business is pretty local. We're talking neighbours, friends, people that I've met in my local community. I mean, I live in a small, well, not that small market town, Chippenham in Wiltshire. But people kind of joke sometimes that I seem to know everybody. I'll often meet people and I'll say, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I'll sort of match them up together, or I seem to know everybody. But the only reason that I know lots of people in this community is from doing my business, and it's been amazing. I mean, I was going back to when I first joined here. I mean, I'd met people over that first year of maternity leave through having a baby, but we'd only moved here a year before that. And at that time, I was commuting one way, my husband was commuting the other way. We were hardly ever actually here. We didn't really know people in our local community. So actually having a business that meant I had to go out and see people meant that I got to know people. So, I've got to know people from all the events I've done over the years, not just people my own age with babies, but, of all generations. And I think my biggest tip is to be consistent, because you can go to an event and it might not be great. I mean, it might not be great that first time. In fact, the toddler group where I first met somebody, another trader, I think I went back there myself with my stall, and I think I sold a handful of things that particular day, but from that one stall, somebody there took a catalogue. They gave it to their childminder. Their childminder has been a customer for years with me. So loyal. We've done fundraising together. We've done parties together. She's invited me to other events. She's put me in touch with probably, I would say, hundreds of other people over the years from that one interaction. So actually go out and do things, show up in all the places, and over time you'll decide what is something you want to carry on doing and what you want to drop. But don't give up on the first time, because actually you never know where it might lead.
No, absolutely. And I think offline, a blended business, offline and online, is going to be the way forward into 2024, definitely, because so many people are saturated with the same things on social media, seeing the same things. People want to be at community. They want that community, that in-person thing. And if you can tap into that, you are onto an absolute winner. Anything that you can go and meet people and have conversations and create opportunities to, I don't know, show up at somebody's Macmillan coffee morning in September, or do them a Christmas fair or whatever, it's going to build. And I suppose, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that you being a part of this community has made much more of an impact than just on your business for you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know, for me personally, I know people in my community. When I go out, it's I get a real buzz out of doing things, meeting people in person. I suppose I'm an extrovert. I get energy from meeting other people and doing things with other people, and you do get that to some extent online, but there's nothing like being out there in person. But also over the years, I've got other people in my community to get to know each other. So I will have coffee mornings at my house, probably sort of 4 times a year. So my next one is Macmillan, as you mentioned. I always do something for Macmillan around this sort of time. People come here and they meet up because I'm holding the coffee morning. It's an excuse for them to get together. I'm doing something for my community as well as, for my business. And what's really lovely is people will often come here and I'll introduce them. They say, "Oh yeah, we know each other. We met here." So people have other people from, sometimes I've collaborated with other network marketing businesses. People have met here and joined the other person's business. Not mine. But I've got other people. I'm supporting other people, other businesses. I've people have met here and somebody's got daughters got piano lessons with this person, or all sorts of connections. It's fantastic.
Oh, that is fantastic. So just to end with, is there any top tip you would like to give the audience that's listening
in? Keep going, keep going, and be consistent. It doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be a big thing, but just keep chipping away, and you'll see that growth.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Eve. So where can people find you and your brand new greener gift wrapping business?
So you can find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram. I'm at Gift Wrapped by Eve. So come and follow me for tips, ideas, inspiration for greener gift wrapping.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being my guest today, and I shall see you soon.
Thank you.